Welcome to another episode of Cooking at Home with Chef Brandon. Hope everyone's being safe out there. Stay doing your social distancing and everything. So we're having a fun episode for you today. We're gonna be making bread. I know bread's easy, but we're gonna make a real fun type of bread. We're gonna be making ciabatta. Ciabatta is a delicious, light. It has a nice olive oil flavor to it. It's absolutely delicious. The method is a little bit different compared to other styles of bread, so it's gonna be a little more time consuming and how it's done. So I'm excited. If you're not very comfortable with bread making, hold aside for the next bread video. We're gonna do a different style, but this one, like I said, it's a little more complex to it, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited to do this. So ciabatta is delicious. You can make it do different styles of for sandwiches, or make into croutons, or just eat it with some charcuterie and cheeses and wine. Nothing's ever wrong with that, because bread is just delicious. No matter what you do with it, it's delicious. So this is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need all-purpose flour. You're gonna need bread flour. You're gonna need olive oil. Doesn't matter what kind you have. If you have just regular olive oil, that'll work perfectly fine. Whatever you have at home. If you just have regular olive oil, like I said, that's fine. Because you know what? Less trips you have to go to the supermarket right now, the better, right? That's what I said. So, as well as olive oil, you need some salt. You're gonna need yeast, and as well water. So those, like I said, it's a simple recipe. It's just the techniques that are in it is a little bit different than regular bread, like different styles of bread. I mean, so, and like I said, a little more in depth about it. It's very good. So let's say you have a gluten allergy. I know a few people out there. Not gonna say their name, but I know some people have gluten allergy. So if you're watching this, I'll say use a little bit of gluten-free flour. I'll do a 3-kind mixture. So since we're using 2 styles of flour for this, I would say use gluten-free flour, and I would use rice flour. I think those 2 combinations together would work perfect, and a little bit of axum gum, so it really helps build that bind that it needs for this kind of bread. So as I was saying, the different kind of grains we need. So I'm gonna go a little more detail about the measurements. So as here, we have our bread flour. So we need 297 grams of this. We need 127 grams of the all-purpose flour, 325 grams of warm water, about 110 degrees. Any more than that, it will start, it could kill the yeast, and anything under that, it won't be able to activate properly. We need 7 grams of dry active yeast. We need about 8 grams of salt. And of course, for the olive oil, I do about 42 grams of olive oil. So as well, you want to be a little bit fancy, be a little bit extra, like I tend to do a bunch of times, as people say. For the olive oil, I would do, if you can, you could go to a Italian market or Italian grocery store. They have tons of different kinds of olive oils. They have ones that be aged 20 years or 40. So all those different things, it's incredible. And I think, it will take your bread level to like this, to damn! So let's go into the process, shall we? So the first thing we're going to do is start building the dough. So to build it, what we need to do is activate the yeast. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our yeast, and about half of the flour, and we're going to combine it and mix it in together. And we're going to let it sit 5 minutes. And you will see when it hits this 5-minute mark, it's going to start to bubble a little bit. That's how you know the yeast is active. If not, maybe go a little bit longer. And if sometimes what happens is if you had the yeast too long at home, the yeast could actually die and not activate as it's needed. So let me show you how it's done. So as we have our old mixer good old set up, we're gonna add our water here. Our water, we're gonna add our yeast, and we're gonna add some of the flour. About half. And what I like to do at this point, instead of setting it all up, I just makes it's actually be a little bit easier. You just part a little bit by hand. Alright, and now we're just let this go for about 5 minutes. Alright everyone, so it's been about 5 minutes, so let's take a look at how it looks. And as you see here, it's been about 5 minutes, and see how it's all it's nice and bubbly. So in another aspect you could do too, if you smell it smells like that really strong yeast flavor, then you know it's perfectly ready. And as I just smell, it smells real nice and yeasty. So the next thing we're going to be doing here, we're going to add olive oil here, our salt, and the rest of our flour. And so you know, because this method is a little bit different, so this is so you know, like I explained earlier, the method how it's done is a little more on the complex side. So this is a 76% hydration dough. So it will be more sticky. So we have our hook in, we'll put the lock on, we'll start mixing. So this point we'll stop it a second, raise it up, and we'll just scrape that bowl a little bit here, you know, so it starts to really come together nice and evenly. And let's go let that go a few minutes here. So at this point, it's just about ready. Let that go this tiny part, about another minute or so. So at this point, we're going to stop it right now. So it's all nice and stopped. Let's unhook it right here. And so what we're going to want to do next is we're going to flour our table area a little bit. Because like I said, this is a sticky dough. Grab a bowl, move this over here. So we got our table area all nice and floured a little bit more. Okay, we're going to take it. And another trick, because this is a sticky dough I do, add a little water to your hands. So, but it's easier to work with since it's a wetter dough. So get that, scrape that right on the table. Okay, and we're going to start the first process of the fold. So we're going to go at this. Fold. Stretch and fold. Like I said, this is a sticky dough. Stretch and fold. So it's going to look like this. So next, forget it. Let's get our hands wet one more time. And pick it up. Get up here. Put it back in your bowl. So what we're doing now, we're going to let it rest for about 30 minutes. And then we're going to repeat this process 3 more times. And then I'm going to tell you a little trick, because we're going to be resting for 30 minutes. We're going to cover it, put it on top of our oven. But the trick is we're going to set our oven to 200 degrees. So that heat coming from the oven is going to help, first of all, help rise and proof it properly. And it's going to, since, you know, your temperature in your apartment or your house or even a condo, you know, could vary based on your area where you live. But you know, that oven at that perfect 200 degrees, it's the perfect temperature for proofing. Even like certain bakeries, they would have like a proof oven, things like that help proof it, things like this. So this is just like a little shortcut to say. So we're going to put this right here. Put it right there. We're going to cover it. and I'll see you in 30 minutes. Alright everyone, so it's been about 30 minutes. Let's take a look how it looks over here. At this point, let's get ready to do another fold. Get our hands a little wet here. Get that down right here. Like I said, it is a very wet dough, so you remember. So we're gonna fold this, that, fold this way, and then we're gonna do it one more time. So we're doing it, pull, then fold over, press, and you do it 4 times each way. So now, let's get my hands wet one more time. And we'll scoop it up, place it back in our bowl here, and we're just gonna put it back on the stove, cover it back up, and then 30 more minutes we'll repeat it again. Alright, now that we're about to get started on the 4th fold, we're going to start building the bread itself too. So, we got it right here. Oh man, look at that. That looks and smells absolutely unbelievable. So what we're going to want to do is flour the living hell out of here. Alright. We got all nice floured up. Our hands ready to go. Let's get this on the table. And at the same time, we're going to flour the top as well. It's nice. So we got this here. Oh, sorry. Stretch here, here, and here. So now we got it there. Now we're gonna fold it to the middle, everything to the middle, like this. So we're gonna fold it this, the middle, the middle, the middle, into the middle. And we're gonna flip it over. At this point, we're gonna start folding it like this. Boom, boom. And it's gonna, by doing this method, it's gonna start building a dough. Not the dough, sorry, the loaf. It's kind of like, it's like braiding it, pretty much. And then we're gonna do one more fold. You're gonna fold like this, about 3/4, press down, and then we'll turn the loaf over, and kind of like lock it, pretty much. Fold it one more time. Fold the top again. At this point, we're gonna start. So now we gotta let it rest a little bit so it doesn't firm back over the place. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna preheat our oven up, and we gotta do one last proof. So we're gonna score the bread. So there's many different scoring techniques you could do, but this one itself, we're gonna do nice and simple. We're just gonna do 3 diagonal ones like this. just like that. So it's gonna look just like this. But you know, like I said, it's nice and simple. So now that we scored it and we have the shape we want, we're gonna place it gently into the Dutch oven. And then we're gonna put our lid on it. And we're gonna let it rest for about 10 to 20 minutes. So it's all in a Dutch oven here, just like this. We're gonna let it rest for about 20 minutes as the oven's preheating. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bake it for about 10 to 15 minutes with the cover on. Then we're gonna take the cover off and we're gonna let it get that real nice, beautiful crust. Alright. Now the oven's been preheating, let's get our bread in. So now we have our bread in. We're gonna wait about 10 minutes and then we're gonna check on it and see how it's looking. If it's starting to rise properly and it's starting to build that crust, we're gonna take the lid off and let it cook for about another 10 minutes so it develops that beautiful crust. Alright, now that it's been about 10 minutes, let's check on our bread, see how it looks. Alright. Moment of truth, right? That's looking really good so far. It's not quite there yet, so let's go about another 5 minutes. Let's get this bad boy. Oops. Let's go about another 5 minutes on this. Then it should be ready to be cooked for. So it's been about another 5 minutes. So let's check on this delicious bread. All right. So now it's been about a total about 20 minutes. So we cooked it for about 15 minutes with the top on. So let's take a look how it looks so far. Oh wow. It rose beautifully. Smells delicious so far. It's developed a really nice crust. Let's show you. Wow. That just looks delicious. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put it back in the oven. We're not gonna put it with the top on. So we're just gonna let it finish the cooking process. So we're gonna let it get really nice and crispy, develop a real beautiful crust, and that's gonna be about another 15-20 minutes. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer depending on your oven, but when it's done, I'll show you the next step what we'll do. But what we'll be doing is taking it out of the Dutch oven pot, and we're gonna put it on a cooling rack so it cools nice and evenly. But I'll show you a little more in detail when it comes to that point. So let's get this bad boy back in. Alright, so it's been about another 15 minutes, so let's check on this bad boy, right? Oh wow. Yes, there we go. And that's what's got. Let me show you right here. That is what you're looking for right there. So, what we want to do now, so it cools evenly, we're going to take it right out of here, and we're going to place it on a cooling rack. Let me show you right here. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. If you hear it, it's nice and hollow. So it's just like that. So we're going to let it rest for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to cut into it. So now there's been about 15 minutes, so it's cooled down a little bit. As you can see here, you feel like that's perfect sound. That's exactly what we want, because it has to rest a little bit for the crust to even out, so when you cut into it, it doesn't fall over the place. So let's cut into this bad boy. Let's see how it came out. Got your bread knife here. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. Like, that is, looks absolutely delicious. But, got a quality check, and that's the important part. Absolutely delicious. Right? Got that nice olive oil flavor. You got the nice fermented flavors from all the different proofings and the foldings. It's absolutely delicious. Exactly how it's supposed to taste. You know, you can just let it cool. You can put a little butter on it. You know, some nice cheese board for dinner for it, or let it cool completely. Next day, make some delicious sandwiches. Like a be on tea, be delicious. Anything real would be delicious with this bread. But the faster you use it, the better. The more flavor you'll be able to get, because if it starts to get a little stale, that's when the perfect timing to make it into like a crouton or even just breadcrumbs in general. But that's pretty much it for today. That's how you make ciabatta bread. And stay tuned for the next episode. So it was a pleasure. Thank you for coming cooking home with Chef Brandon.